Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And what are we talking about this time? Jiggle physics. Jiggle, jiggle. Before we get started here, make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you're not already. Help us out. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. Let's get started. So the First Descendant announces that it's officially getting jiggle physics. Somehow this game didn't already have that, which we played this game for quite a while. We beat this story, played it co-op and beat the story. And I don't think we ever noticed. I didn't notice. I thought the game already had it, but turns out First Descendant, it's a PC game, free to play. It's kind of like Destiny for attractive people, because that's all it is. Everyone's a hot model in there of all your characters. But they put out important news that the First Descendant is getting jiggle physics. Said I wanted to share some important news, so I decided to come online late tonight. This is when that a developer, came online to talk about it. After lengthy discussion with the AD today, a decision has been made to add the much requested jiggle physics. This was decided only a short while ago, so the details of when and how it will be implemented, probably surgery, I would assume, into the game are yet to be finalized and will be shared in a future update. So, if you're not familiar with jiggle physics, then I don't know where you've been, but they're basically breast physics, makes your boobies bounce. That's basically what it is. Lots of games have these. Some of them are a little, looking at you, DOA, little outrageous in that department. And some games that you wouldn't know have them, right? One, there's other types of physics. Kratos, he has jiggle physics. One of the games, I guess Larian in Baldur's Gate 3 had slong physics. So dingle dangle on your dingle hopper. So, I'm really surprised this game didn't have it. And I'm really surprised that I just never, none of us, because I know Shane and Patrick, we all played this game. And when we saw this article about it, we were like, the game didn't have that already? Like, that seems like a given. If you played The Last Descendant or seen pictures of the female cast of that game, they ain't shying away from anything. So, but there's a lot of games that have jiggle physics, right? And we've seen jiggle physics come into a lot of games. Like I said, some of them do it fine. Some of it's on the lower end where it's not as noticeable. And some games it's on the much higher end where it's extremely noticeable and kind of like a little weird, like little like it really wouldn't work that way type of physics, right? One game that I'm surprised actually has it, which which it's very subtle and you really don't notice, or you don't notice very well, but you can definitely see it, is Resident Evil Remake. If you play Jill Valentine, her boobs have jiggle physics in that game. They're very subtle. You got to really be watching for it, but if you do, you can see it. And so it's like you wouldn't suspect that game would have that, but it does. So there's a lot of games that have it. Like I said, they introduce it in various ways. I'm really surprised this game didn't have it, but they're getting it. So yay, I guess. I don't know. We played through the story mode and the game was fun. After the story mode, then you kind of go through it again, but with harder bosses and stuff like that. And it's really more of a grind at that point. So, I don't know. We might come back to this game every once in a while because it does have its fun moments. I just think that they just need more content. And I think after a while, because when we stopped playing it, we kind of, besides redoing a lot of the bosses again and stuff, we kind of blew through the content that it had. So I think after a while, if this game continues to add more stuff besides jiggle physics, we might come back and Last time I went on there, I know they had like another some sort of side quest that they had that was going on at the time that I know we didn't do, that had popped up on the screen. So they'll probably add more stuff as it goes. But anyway, right now, Jiggle Physics is on the menu. So, Shane, what do you think about the game getting Jiggle Physics and Jiggle Physics in general?
Jiggle me this, jiggle me that. Who's afraid of a big fat rack? I okay. First of all, Nick's right. We never noticed it in our first playthrough because I think that game kind of turned us into ass men because that's all you see running after your friends. It's just cheeks. So I'm okay with that.
They all definitely have the Kardashian asses going around.
Yes. They're thick. They're very thick. I don't know if Jiggle Physics is that big of a deal in this game. First of all, your camera angle is behind you. So I have to have Nick running towards me Baywatch style just to notice anything. And I want to look at my own boobies. No offense, Nick. I like yours. Mine are nice, though. Mine are real nice. They hold up. Is this really where they needed to focus their time? I mean, a little extra content, maybe some new guns. No, I want a stack of dimes for nipples and I want them to jiggle all over the place. So that's where they focus. Don't get wrong. When I play a game, I'm always going to pick a female character if I have the option because that's what I want to look at. I want to see a women. It's just me. Does it make me dirty? Probably. I don't know. But if I got the character I like and it doesn't change the gameplay between playing as a man or playing as a woman, I'm always going to play the woman because I'd rather look at a woman. DOA is a game where I like the booby physics in it because it's fun and it's funny. This game, I don't see it working as well because you're always seeing your behind. Now it might be just jiggle physics of the cheeks too. So you could be running and clapping along, if you know what I mean. So that's possible. I mean, I didn't catch that part in here in the article, but oh, here comes Becky.
That's true. They didn't say what was jiggling.
Exactly. So, I mean, it could be slapping cheeks, running down the, cliff, doing some, zip lining and crap, taking out monsters and aliens. So it could be awesome if it did. I mean, that would be pretty damn funny, to be honest. But is it worth it? Was it worth that time and effort to add that mechanic into the game? There's lots of things they could have done in that game. Content would have been my going to for this game, but this game really is a decent game. It's a pretty fun game with friends. Now it's going to be a fun game with friends while you shoot them in the boobie and see if it jiggles. So it's okay with me. I'm pro jiggle in the right cases. And for a game like this, I don't see it really working very well. But, if it's clapping cheeks, jiggle physics, then I'm okay with that too. I don't need it. I didn't ask for it, but I'll enjoy it if I can.
Sure.
I mean, it's, I don't know. What was the other game Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, the whole gimmick was that fat ass that the character had. And it was nice. I ain't gonna lie. The artist, good job. Modeled it after my sister. They did. No, I'm kidding. But things like this they are a gimmick, but they're fun, and I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. I mean, I don't see me going out of my way after the first 2 minutes of seeing it to see it anymore. It's like Dead or Alive. You set that age to 99 and, you know, watch Hayabusa kick Kayami in the breast 40 times. That wears away pretty quick. So I don't know. Definitely, it's a fun thing in a game, but it's either here or there. Some people will be pissed off about it and offended, and like you said, all right, well then play a guy and put in dong physics like they did in the one game. You know, swing that man hammer around, knock somebody out. If that's what you want, go for it. Put that physic in there. But that's just me. Boobies are nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if it's there, but like you said, we didn't really notice it. So even if they never added it, we probably would have never noticed.
No,
no,
exactly.
And it's again like depending on like the Dead or Alive, it's kind of hard to miss because it's a fighting game. But like other games that have it, yeah, like you might look to see it once or twice, but then after that, you're like, all right, now I'm back to just playing the game as normal. Like you're not paying attention to it. So it's not a feature that makes a game worse or better.
Yeah.
So
no. Now, here's an interesting prospect. Jiggle physics in a first-person shooter. So you're running along, and all you see is
you see something come up on the screen. You're like, what the hell is that?
My breasts keep getting in the way.
They're in the way.
Shitty word to sports, bro. Damn it. Paid extra for that one on the DLC.
Yeah, it's the DLC. Yeah, right. Sports Brawl DLC. Want them puppies to stay in place?
That's right.
Don't give them any ideas because they're going to do that in some other future game. The Perfect Call Dark is going to all of a sudden change to Joanna's tits are going to grow 10 sizes, and then you got to pay extra for that Sports Brawl to keep them down.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, she goes no brawl. So they're all over the place.
Oh, my God. Call of Boobies. There's a Tomb Raider just going down the ladder, sliding.
Yeah. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make for a good or bad game, especially like The Last Descendant. Like The Last Descendant doesn't, it's nice to look at. Right. Not the physical physics, but I mean the characters and stuff. But again, like even if the game is nice to look at, if the gameplay sucks, then it's just going to suck, right? It doesn't matter how pretty or pleasing to the eye that you make the character. If the game sucks, then it sucks, right? It's kind of like Tomb Raider back in the day, right? Yes, it got some play because of how Lara Croft was modeled. But when people played it, they probably first played Tomb Raider because they wanted to see the model and everything like that, right? Because that was back in the day, we didn't have a lot of that. But then they learned that Tomb Raider was actually a really fun game.
Good game.
And that's what really propelled Tomb Raider to be the franchise it was. Lara Croft was a good character as just a character in general. And the gameplay was fun. And that's what created that franchise into what it is today, right? Especially like a lot of these other games. So it's not about having, like DOA has always had sexy characters, but the fighting is fun. The fighting is good. So that's what, besides the sexy characters, that's not what makes the game, right? That just is not what makes the game. You could have sexy characters, but if your gameplay sucks, people are going to play it for 5 minutes to look at the sexy characters and they're going to move on because the game sucks. Right.
Yeah. Back in the day, they tried doing that with several games. The BMX Triple X, they tried with that, and it was a horrible game and horrible character models. They also tried it with Outlaw Golf and Outlaw Volleyball. Neither one was very good games. The profanity and nudity that they tried to push into the game did not do anything for the game, like at all. Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball is a good example of sexuality with gameplay that was actually fun. Because what made
The
that game fun was
volleyball in that game was actually fun to play.
exactly, and the mini games were fun to play. And was it all geared towards watching, Kasumi and Ayane in their bathing suits and all that? Yes, but the games were fun, and they were even had some story elements to it that were kind of funny and interesting. Uh, and you get through the sexuality of it fairly quick. I mean, yeah, I mean, jumping up, boobs flying everywhere. That's fun for, 10 minutes of the game. But that's not the game. The game was actually a game. The bonus was breastises, and bikinis.
Right.
That was the bonus of the
But
game.
if beach
So
volleyball wasn't a fun game on its own,
it would have
again,
been
it would have been a flop too.
Yep.
No pun intended. But it would have been, right? But I remember playing that because I remember picking up beach volleyball because I wanted to see the DOA girls in their swimwear, right?
Yep.
As a young teenager at the time, and so that's the reason why I picked up the game. But then as I started playing it and playing the volleyball and things like that, I was like, this game's actually really fun. And I played a lot of it, right? Just the going through the volleyball, like different, following the story mode and going to the volleyball and doing the different side activities and stuff. And it was a lot of fun to play. So you have to have gameplay with. It's fine if you want to have that stuff, but you've got to have the gameplay go along with it, because that, on the gaming side of things, that does not, unless someone's looking for that particular type of game, and they make those games, right? But if you're doing that as to just making a game for a wider audience, but using those types of things to bring an audience in, then you have to have a game that has good gameplay. Otherwise, that audience is not going to stick around for it, right? Regardless of what physics or various, outfits or whatever that you may have in the game, it doesn't really matter. If the game sucks, then it sucks and no one's going to play it. So,
yeah, I mean, breastises and jiggles, they're only going to get you so far. But if your game doesn't have, good combat, if depending on the game, like First Descendant, for example, if it doesn't have good combat, if it doesn't have good multiplayer, because that's what this game is really geared around, it does not matter how far them boobies shake or them butt cheeks clap. The game's going to just get dull real fast, because yeah, I mean the attractiveness of the character models can get you started in a game, but if the game ain't there, you're gonna finish the game real fast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of games that have done that, like you said, that have done that in the past. They've tried to sell it with sex, basically, and that's all the game had to offer, right? It had nothing beyond that. Because once you played it, you're like, this game sucks. Like, even though the female protagonist looks really nice, but other than that, this game is not worth playing. So you're not going to sit there and keep playing it because the female protagonist looks nice. You're going to be like, I'm going to go play something else. Because ultimately you're there to play a game, right? You can see that stuff anywhere. So it's like, cool.
Yeah,
cool. That might get some people in the door, but they're not going to stick around if you ain't got something else to offer them. So,
yep.
But all right. Well, anyway, now the Last Descendant's getting the jiggles. So let us know down in the comments below what you all think and about jiggle physics in general. Should it be in there? Does it help or hurt or do anything for you in a game? Like I said, for us, we really don't notice it half the time unless it's like something absurd like DOA or whatever. But or you're looking for it, or if you're wondering if a game has it, right? And you go to look for it. That's really the only time that you're like, oh, it does have it. So that's halftime when I see it. It's like, unless it's obvious. If it's not obvious, then I go look for it just to see if it's there, because I'm just curious. Or a pervert. I don't know. Anyway, see you later.
See ya.